This is the Radio Dog Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show with Kentucky boys Tim Batts and Josh Williams. Tim is a music promoter, radio host, and passionate bluegrasser, and Josh is a 20-time Bluegrass Guitar Player of the Year. This podcast is all about bluegrass music, where they swap stories, crack jokes, and pick on each other. Josh even plays a song or two in each episode. Plus, they sit down with bluegrass artists and insiders for interviews you won't hear anywhere else. It's music, it's laughs, it's all things bluegrass, right here on the Hometown Bluegrass Show. Now, here are your hosts, Tim Batts and Josh Williams.
Thank you, Cindy Baucom, and welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show. You have tuned in to some of the greatest information you will ever hear from two of the greatest people who could ever say it.
Two of my very favorite people.
Me too, man. Me too. I'm Tim Batts here with Josh Williams, and we are here with episode 101 and had a great 100th episode. Thanks for everybody who tuned in to our last episode. We kind of made it into a little milestone deal with our interview with Rhonda Vincent at the Grand Ole Opry, and it was just a great time. So we're excited. Well, we made it to 100. I guess we'll just keep on going. So,
yeah, that was a great one with Rhonda. I listened to it actually last night whenever I was driving because I hadn't heard it, after it came out. So I'm still curious on that very last story that she started to tell. She made it all the way to Tyler Andall, who's the bow maker, and then she stopped. She's like, "Oh, they're on. We need to go." Classic Rhonda, man.
I know it. It was like squirrel. She was gone. Yeah, and then she tried to tell us something in the beginning that she couldn't tell us, and that she didn't know if she could tell us. And she actually texted me a few days later and said, "I remember what it was. I couldn't tell you."
Oh, what was it?
She said that they're going to build some suites at the Grand Ole Opry. So I don't know what that looks like, but that's what she said. So anyway, it was funny. I just got done mowing, and I got a text, and it was Rhonda Vincent. This was like 3 or 4 days after, and she goes, "I just remembered what it was." So I guess they're going to build maybe suite boxes. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, but so anyway, you heard it here first, folks. If we were supposed to tell you or not. Anyway, we got a great episode 101 lined up for you. We've got the not only one fabulous, great guitar player that I get the honor of talking with every week, but we're going to bring in one of the best as well. Mr. Kenny Smith is going to join us.
Yes,
so,
Kenny Smith.
I know you're excited to talk to him, and you guys have been friends, known each other for a long time, and I'm super excited to talk to two of the world's best. So it's going to be really cool to talk to him, and so you stay tuned for that. We're going to get on with that here in a little bit. But so you're playing this weekend. You got some gigs, right? Where are you now, Mississippi?
Yeah, I'm in Meridian, Mississippi right now. Yep.
Y'all had some storms last night, didn't you? Saw Don Rigsby's post that y'all were dodging hail or something.
Yeah, they those guys came through some pretty rough storms, it looked like, and I didn't hit any of that. I just had rain probably half the way. It was never anything horrible. I never had any wind.
Yeah.
In fact, the hardest rain that I got in was when I arrived here in town. So
yeah, well, good deal.
But yeah, some of the stuff that I saw that they had come through was pretty serious. So
yeah,
a lot of red, a lot of yellows.
Oh, pretty cool.
Radar. Yeah.
So y'all playing? Is it a festival tonight, or is it just a single show, or what?
We are at the Jimmy Rogers Memorial Festival.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, we're gonna be here. It's Becky Buller and her band, and then Southern Legacy and the Grascals.
Cool. So we're recording this on Thursday, May the 7th, and so you guys will be playing tonight. Now this won't come out until Friday, May the 8th, and so but the festival will still be going on, I guess, all weekend, I assume, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. This is just I guess the bluegrass portion of it.
I got you. Okay. And then tomorrow night, or when the day this comes out, May the 8th, you guys, for the first time as a band Southern Legacy, play the Station Inn.
Yeah. Station
That's
in
exciting.
Nashville, Tennessee, 12th South. Come see us down in the Gulch.
I guess all of you guys have played it many, many times over the years, but never collectively as Southern Legacy. So
that's true. We never have. So this will be this is Southern Legacy's debut performance at the Station Inn.
That'll be so cool. So cool.
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else you got going on? Anything fun?
Well, when we get done with that, we're going to be hopping on a bus and taking off to North Carolina, and we'll be playing there at the Denton Farm Park in Denton, North Carolina, for the Malpas Brothers Festival.
Cool.
Yeah, so it used to be. I think this one used to be Doyle Lawson's festival, and then when he retired, that they wanted somebody that was, not retired, that could take it over and kind of be the star and home group and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, yeah, it's a great festival, great location there at the Denton Farm Park. Been a lot of bluegrass there for a lot of years.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it'll also be Southern Legacy's first time playing there.
Well, good deal. You guys are getting a lot of firsts. So
Absolutely, man.
Including come up. We are now less than a month away from our first festival that I'm promoting here in our hometown area, the Bluegrass on the Bluff at Columbus Belmont State Park. So That'll be June the 6th, and that's coming up right around the corner. And just so excited to have you guys as our headliner for that first year event. And what a beautiful park and a beautiful place. We're going to be up on a bluff overlooking the Mississippi River in a Civil War historic battlefield state park here in far western Kentucky. So make plans now to attend. It's a free festival and got 5 great bands. We've got free. Absolutely. So you guys come and join us, and it'll be a great time. So anyway.
Yeah. Lots of firsts, man. This is our first show after our 100 shows. Mm-hmm. So 101st show. And this will be our second show that we've done underneath the old Radio Dog podcasting network.
That's right. Absolutely. Excited to be joining efforts with the great Rick Dollar and joining the Radio Dog podcast network. So just collaborating with other podcasts of similar interests and styles, and going to try to join up and just create some good content for you all to listen to. So check out Radio Dog Podcast Network on the Book of Face. Check us out too, Hometown Bluegrass Show. We want to hear from you. Josh can't really play this week because we are not actually physically together, but we love it when he does play on each episode. And we're going to be doing more of that because Josh is going to be starting giving online lessons here real soon, working on a website for him. And so stay tuned for that.
That's right. And this is also another show that we have our new sponsor to talk about, Bluegrass Unlimited.
Absolutely. So if you love bluegrass music, you need the magazine Bluegrass Unlimited. It is the leading magazine for all bluegrass fans since 1966. I get mine in the mailbox every month. It's published by the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum in Owensboro, Kentucky.
This monthly magazine features exclusive interviews, music reviews, festival news. I love how all that rhymes.
I know.
And more from the world of bluegrass, delivered right to your door. From legendary artists to the next generation of pickers, Bluegrass Unlimited brings you closer to the music you love.
That's right. Our listeners can use the promo code HOMETOWN if you would like a discount when you subscribe today at bluegrassunlimited.com. So check them out. Go online, subscribe to the magazine, use the promo code HOMETOWN, and you will get a big old fat discount on your subscription. So thanks to the Bluegrass Hall of Fame and Museum in Owensboro, Kentucky, for sponsoring the Hometown Bluegrass Show.
That's right. A discount so big that it does not take its T-shirt off when it goes swimming.
Exactly. Yeah, speaking of T-shirts, we are super excited about our new collaboration with Hopeless Holler Trading Company. And so we're going to be getting some new merchandise for the Hometown Bluegrass Show. We're going to have our own online store. So be watching for that. It'll be coming out just any day now, and you'll be able to purchase Hometown Bluegrass Show shirts and hats and cups and styrofoam minter buckets and weed eaters and all kind of cool stuff. So.
Quit doing that. People are going to be looking for it.
Oh, man. So we got lots of cool stuff happening for sure. So
absolutely,
the coolest thing we got going is we're about to talk to Kenny Smith, and can't wait to talk to that legend in the bluegrass guitar world, and can't wait to hear you guys swap stories and talk about guitars. So,
man, I love Kenny. I always have. Always looked up to him, and recently he came and played the Opry with us whenever I was out there with Rhonda, and that was great. That was great fun having him there playing on a couple of those shows that we did. So
yeah, I'm sure it was cool. So we'll take a quick break, and we come back. We'll talk to Kenny Smith. So you hang tight.
Hey, this is Josh Williams for Page Capos. The Page Capo is lightweight, durable, and quickly attaches and allows you to change frets with ease. With controlled tension capabilities, Page Capo always stays in tune. But don't just take my word for it. Page Capos is also used by folks like Vince Gill, Ron Block, Tim O'Brien, Cody Kilby, Tommy Emmanuel, and James Taylor. So don't trust just any capo. Use what the pros use. Listen to the Hometown Bluegrass Show podcast for your chance to win a Page Capo on every episode. Do what I do and trust Page Capos. Order online at pagecapo.com.
Looking for expert insurance advice from a team that truly knows Western Kentucky? At Paducah Insurance Agency, we're more than just policies. We're your neighbors, helping you protect what matters most. With locations in Paducah and Benton, Kentucky, we offer home, auto, business, and life insurance with top carriers like Erie Insurance, all at competitive rates. Locally owned and committed to your peace of mind, Jared Morgan and his team are here to help. Call Paducah Insurance Agency today at 855-853-4763 or visit paducahinsurance.com. Paducah Insurance, coverage you can count on from people you trust.
The Lake House Inn at Sled Creek has undergone complete renovation in 2023. Our outdoor space is unlike any other at Kentucky Lake. With 2 in-ground pools, 18 rooms, and 4 cabins, we're just a stone's throw away from Kentucky Dam. If you're looking to make memories with your family, this nostalgic inn is for you. Welcome to your lake house, where modern meets rustic and becomes home. Reserve online at lakehouseinn.com.
Howdy, friends. I'm Banjo Ben Clark, and you're listening to my good buddies, Tim Batts and Josh Williams, on the Hometown Bluegrass Show. You've tuned in because you like valuable conversation about the world's best music. And if you want more good stuff like that, come on over to my website, banjobenclark.com, where you can learn how to play and purchase anything you might need when it comes to bluegrass-related instruments and accessories. My Gold Pick members over there can access hundreds of lessons for banjo, guitar, and mandolin, with all kinds of resources to help you move on down the road with your picking skills. And if you're looking to purchase something, the deals can't be beat at Banjo Ben's General Store. All there on the same website, banjobenclark.com. Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Hometown Bluegrass Show. We are so glad you're joining us today. I am Tim Batts, along with my fabulous co-host, Mr. Josh Williams.
Hello, everybody. I'm fabulous now, huh?
You are fabulous, yes.
I like that.
Because we're not together, see. I don't have to put up with you, see. But, but no, we are just really excited about our guest on this episode, episode 101. We've got the great man who needs no introduction. The only man better than guitar than Josh Williams is Mr. Kenny Smith.
he's one of my heroes, man. Smith, absolutely.
Oh, Lord. Kenny Smith, how are you, sir?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. I'm glad to be on here. I've been watching you guys for a while now, and congratulations on 101 shows, man.
Yeah,
that's a good trail, I think, man. I was telling Josh there, man, and most of these things start out pretty good and then they just kind of fade away, but you guys has kept it going, man. I love that.
Well, there was probably a few times, Tim, you can probably agree with me on this, where we kind of wondered if we were going to keep doing it or not, the starting part is the slow part. You don't know if you've even got people that are listening to you or not, there was a handful of times where we were like, are we going to keep doing this? But we stuck it out. So I'm glad we did.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. When you do a podcast for 2 years, where we're at right now, I mean, a lot of life happens. A lot of things happen during that time span. And so you go through just areas of life that things are different and whatever. And so yeah, there's times it gets tough, it is a lot of work, and, it's, we don't make any money. But we love bluegrass music, and we love promoting it and just keeping it out there. And then, once you start seeing fans on Facebook and social media and all that start kind of commenting and, oh, we missed your show if it don't come on and that sort of thing, it kind of makes you like, oh, wow, some people are listening to us. So,
yeah. That's one of my favorite things, really. I mean, the podcast stuff, listen to on the road. I've got a bunch of stuff, our church has got, podcasts, and man, I love it now. It's just, and then like, bluegrass, that stuff is kind of few and far between, I remember when we used to visit, we lived in Indiana, but all of our kinfolks and everything live here in Tennessee. So every spring break, Christmas thing, we would come down to Tennessee, and, there was Ralph Emery show, on, it was on every morning. We'd get up and watch that. And then before that, there was Mickey Harris, his relatives had a bluegrass show. And we used to listen to that.
Yeah. Carl Tipton, man. And we'd get up. It seemed like that was probably, they came on at like, it was real early. It's probably 6 o'clock in the morning, but man, me and my brother would get up. We wouldn't miss it, because it was like bluegrass on TV, and we just never saw it. You just never, you rarely ever saw it. And man, we couldn't wait to get down here to watch that Carl Tipton show. And
that's pretty cool.
It's just the same thing like this stuff. I mean, well, you remember the days before XM, man. You'd find a bluegrass station on Saturday or Sunday, and man, you'd almost stop the car to keep the channel from going out. It's like pull over and listen to it, until it got.
There was actual times that my dad, when I was a kid, he would pull over. We would just end up getting in the right spot somewhere, and we'd be able to pick up WBKR out of Owensboro, Kentucky, and Kirk Brandenburger had his bluegrass show on there, and we'd be able to pick that up. But if you wasn't in the right spot, you wasn't going to get it, so we drive around till we found it.
Man,
that's so cool.
Great, man. I remember when we lived in Virginia, I was playing with LRB. Buddy Michaels had a show on. His came on a Sunday morning. We'd be headed home, all night, driving all night, and then that morning, you'd come in Sunday and you'd hear Buddy Michaels start the bluegrass. It was just like a shot in the arm, man. It was just like all that night, driving through the night, trying to stay awake. And then you hear Buddy, playing the bluegrass. And it was like, yeah, it was great just to hear that come in, where you get close enough to hear all the everybody, and if he was lucky, he would play your tune,
Mm-hmm.
And man,
I miss those days, man. I miss the days of the bluegrass radio shows. There's not many of them out there in existence anymore.
Yeah, I know. There was a few here in Nashville that was really good. Dave Higgs had one that was pretty cool. I always liked his because he would always have a theme. Like I remember,
right? Yeah,
I used to record his show, and one of the shows I recorded, he had all the songs that had "ain't" in the title, and he did a whole show with it. I mean, it was yeah. I mean, it was. And I was like, at first, I was like, man, is he gonna have 30 minutes? And he did, man. It was like you wouldn't believe how many songs got "ain't" in the title.
That's awesome. I love stuff like that.
I do too.
And I think having a bluegrass podcast to me is a little, I don't know, it kind of takes you back because of how bluegrass music started, on the radio and the popularity of it back when it was just coming around. And now, to have it still on the airwaves, so to speak, I just think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's yeah, I still like the talking the best,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, Josh and I love to hear ourselves talk. We do great.
yeah.
Oh,
101 shows, man. You got this thing down, buddy.
I know.
You know what's funny is it was Tim's idea to start doing this, and was it because of stories or whatever that I had told you about being on the road or whatever?
Yeah, I had been wanting to.
You had so many.
Yeah, I had been wanting to start a bluegrass podcast, and you and I were together that day, and I was doing a bluegrass radio show on the internet at the time for Bluegrass Jamboree, and I was we were sitting in my truck, and I was having you record some little stingers and ins and outs to use on the show, and
oh yeah, that's right.
And you said, I tell you what, I'd love to do. I'd love to do a bluegrass podcast now that you're not out with Rhonda all the time. You're home more, and we live close. I said, let's, and I believe your exact words were, hell yeah. So, I thought, well, sounds like he'll do it. So
that's a direct quote right there.
Yeah. So we didn't know what we were doing. We just jumped in and started doing it. So
that's the best way, man.
Yeah.
First part is getting started. That's the thing.
It is. Our first few episodes, we tried to script them out and write about notes and all that. And we just quickly realized we're not that kind of people. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to get too slick, You
that's
don't want
right.
to get too slick.
Exactly. Then we have to stop and bring things down a few notches. Yeah, it's not worth it. So,
yeah.
And then people expect more too. That's the thing. The expectations of other people. Hey, these guys are professional podcasters, and it's like, I think you got to make money to do that.
Yeah,
he considered one of those.
Exactly. Yeah, not everybody can be Joe Rogan, I guess. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be awesome though. Wouldn't that be cool if we brought a bluegrass themed podcast to that kind of a audience? That would be great.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the dream.
There you go. We can dream.
Yeah. So Kenny, you have kind of some new ventures that you have going on. I know we've talked before. You kind of, I guess, since COVID, I would imagine, but I don't know if that's the real reason or if it was just so you could be home more. But I do know that you've kind of gotten into the teaching aspect of the music.
Yeah, I had a started KennySmithGuitar.com. We're probably getting on up close to 10 years now. But I first started doing the individual lessons. I'd record them, and then you could buy the lessons. And but now, when COVID hit, that was the first time I really could spend a lot of time on it. And man, there for 2 or 3 years, I was just putting up content and getting that going. And then I went to subscription during that time, and that made a pretty big, the ball started rolling then. And I told everybody that I'd put up new content every month. So I got a new lesson every month. And right now I think I'm running about 250 subscribers.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been such a blessing because, man, there's been like, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 guys has emailed me and told me, he said, man, they was really anxious when they would like go in for a guitar lesson and they couldn't do it, a live lesson. And they like that format, where, they're sitting at their home and they don't get anxious and they can just watch a video. And that was something I never even thought about, that people had anxiety, with a live lesson. and I've taught people, they'd be nervous, but that was something that I hadn't even thought about when I started the website and everything like that. But man, it's been fun. I've had so many people, text me and email me, they've been on the site and that it's helped them, in their guitar playing.
Yeah. I'd love to sit down and pick your brain on that stuff one day. Cause you seem to just do it so well, and it looks good, and people seem to really like it. And I'm trying to figure out my own thing as well. And it's kind of weird because the easy route is, go with people that are already doing it and then share your money with them, and I've really been trying to stay away from that, So, but anyway, another thing that you have is your camp, right? You doing
right? Yeah, I had my first camp. It's been a couple of weeks ago, but that's been a dream of mine for a long time. I taught at all these camps and workshop, and I've been at some really good camps, or I've been involved with some good camps, and it gave me a chance to see what worked and what I thought really went well. And I've been involved with Nashville flat picking camp for a long time, and then it was involved with Banjo Ben camps, and he both of those, Adam and Megan Chowning, I mean they do a great job, and like I say, Banjo Ben and all these other Kaufman camp, of course it's huge, and and I wanted to do something different, and I teamed up with we did a couple of shows with Byron Chisholm down at his place. He's got this huge and this, if you don't know who Byron is, Bad Byron, he's a barbecue champion, and he sells the world's best-selling barbecue rub. And so we did a couple of shows down at his place it's outside of Lynchburg, a little town called Mulberry, Tennessee. And so every time we would go down there, I'd say, I said, I would love to do a camp here. And so we did 2 or 3 things. And man, the last thing that we did for Byron was last Easter. He had this big, kind of like this huge gazebo thing that he had started and built, and he was kind of doing an Easter service in this huge gazebo on his property. So I made up my mind. I thought, man, I'm gonna come out and ask Byron if I could do a workshop there at his place. And before I could ask him, he came up to me and Amanda and said, "Hey, do you think you could do one of those guitar things here at the place?" And I was like, I told him, I said, "Man, we've been praying about it." And I said, we was about ready to ask you. So that's how it started. So we just started talking. Wow. And so the whole deal, I was trying to, I thought, man, I get Byron to cook, do 2 barbecue meals while we're having that, and just so these people could experience, just real barbecue, just open, fire, just the whole bit. And so we got together with Byron. He agreed to do that and at his place. And man, we had a blast. We had people from, I think it was 15 different states. Had a guy came in from, they were from all over, had several guys from California flew in, and man, it was just a treat just to be there and to teach these guys. But it was an extra special thing to have them come in and taste, Southern food the whole weekend, because Byron's was doing the barbecue, and then we had another lady, Beverly, which was around that area. She's a local lady, and she cooked breakfast and did her lunch, and it was all Southern chicken and dumplings and that kind of stuff. And
my goodness,
and it was just, it was great. It couldn't have went any better. And I had a lot of help. Amanda and Caleb Smith that works plays banjo with it. He helped us, and this year we had Jake Workman. He was my other teacher, and but man, we had an absolute blast. I like I say, it couldn't have went any better. And we're gonna go. We're gonna keep doing it. We're doing it next year too. So we already got that on the books. And it'll be the same time.
Is it like is it a weekend long camp or a week?
It is. Yeah, it starts on a Friday. It's just Friday and Saturday, and and you get all your food, and it's pretty close to. We're about 4 miles from Fayetteville, there at the hotel. So, but it's kind of right there, close to Lynchburg. But it's out in the country. Byron said he told everybody when we started the camp. I had him speak, and he told everybody that he appreciated everybody being there, and said just by everybody being there, they doubled the population of Mulberry. And
that's funny, and probably accurate.
Yeah. It's a neat little place, but I love the property there. He calls it the Bad Byron. It's called the Barbecue Theme Park and Butt Ranch. And,
nice.
So yeah, but it is a neat thing, man. He does this certain thing. It's that county, Lincoln County. They've done these chickens where it's like a slow cook. It's like 5 hours over a open pit, and it's kind of it's historic for that area, and they've learned he's learned it from the locals there, and these guys that have been doing it for years, and that's one of the meals that he cooks is the Lincoln County chicken, which is pretty cool. That's about the only place you could probably get that chicken there.
That's so cool. Yeah, Josh and I have been talking about offering a camp here around our area, around Kentucky Lake area, and that gets me excited about that.
Oh yeah, man, it was fun. I mean, it's a lot of work. I mean, but man, was it worth it? It was some cool things. I had a buddy from Don Smith, buddy from Texas. He came in, and he's a sign painter, so he was painting everybody's cases and putting their name on the guitar cases, and just I don't know, it was just a cool thing, little stuff like that that is kind of special.
Yeah, very cool. So say the name of that one more time so people can know what to look for when they're wanting to sign up for your camp.
It's a Kenny Smith Guitar BQ. We kind of married the
that's awesome. I love that.
Guitar BQ retreat, and you can go on my website kennysmithguitar.com, and we'll have some information on how to sign up for it for next year.
Great. And you said that you guys have some new music coming out soon, right?
Yeah, we're excited. We cut some singles there about a year and a half ago, and then we got back in the studio in the past 2 months, and we've been recording and just got it finished. We record down in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I counted up. I think this is our 10th album down there that we recorded. It's a kind of special.
As Kenny and Amanda?
It's Kenny and Amanda. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we've been I found that studio down there when we was living in Virginia, and man, he just got incredible tones, and we've been going there ever since. We started recording down there a couple projects with Rebel, and then we started putting our stuff out on our own label, and so we that was one of the things why we started our own label, was just to continue recording there, so nobody could tell us, you can't record there. So, but
sometimes those folks have more say than they need.
Yeah, and it's I'd say once you like Glenn, when you have a sound like that, I mean, I don't want to ever leave that. I mean, and I guess that's why we keep going back. And two, Glenn's like family, and he kind of, when you find I always tell everybody, Glenn Tabor's my Bill Wolf. I I mean, that, Tony had found, once you find somebody that's as passionate about the sound as you are, man, it makes a huge difference. I mean, but
yeah,
it's so fun going in there because you don't have to worry about, all you got to do is worry about being creative, because it's just like he can already, you're in there cutting leads, or even if you're doing vocals, he knows what we want. And man, it's just, I don't know. You save so much time like that. You don't have to really tell somebody what you want.
It's almost like having another band member.
It is. And
like having a
really
sound guy or something,
He really is. And that's been the I guess probably the most consistent thing, because I mean, right now Corey is probably our constant, but the other guys in the band, they're always changing. And but man, that sound has always been consistent and consistently better. He every time we go down there, he always has a different angle of how he's going to do stuff. Like my guitar, he didn't use the same mics on my guitar this time. He used threw another mic in there, Shep's, which was a new mic he was had found and kind of been using and everything. And then we're getting into the Atmos thing now. This one will be Atmos, so that was different,
Yeah.
Now, what makes that different? What does Atmos do to change the sound?
Well, it makes it everything, like you have your mics for your instrument, but then Glenn will have mics in the room, which gives it more space. And so Atmos is a lot of it's more about imaging. Like you can, not just left and right, but man, you got ceiling, you got wall,
360,
you got back wall. Yeah. And it's which, I mean, Bluegrass, you can't, a lot of the stuff you can do with Atmos, it probably wouldn't sound right with Bluegrass, but to actually have that imaging, it does help. I think it helps, like with the placement of the instrument. You can really place instruments to where it gets that instrument clearer in a mix than maybe if you didn't have it. But that's just my take on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the ear pods. You can hear it. You can hear the spatial stuff and special. Like when you move your head, it'll move with you. And so
yeah,
it's more of an imaging thing. But I think the way Apple's moving, I think to get on some playlist, I think they're kind of pushing everybody to mix that way. So
yeah, I've been noticing that a lot in the music world, and I mean, there's even headphones now that are made for spatial audio and special things like that, and it is pretty intriguing. It's pretty neat.
It's funny because it sounds like you're just saying the word special, like Lester Flatt. Spatial.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say that. You just sound like spatial. Let us say spatial. Spatial. Too.
Yeah. Need to do a Lester Flatt commercial for Apple.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, your sound is instantly recognizable, and I know it's important to you, your tone, I mean, more than anything. But so what's your primary guitar that you mostly play or especially record with?
It's been 1935 D18. That's been kind of and I've had that guitar since 95, and that's kind of my main guitar. But man, every once in a while, like I saw Gary Burnett, like on this album, I saw him. I think we set up at his show, and so I was talking to him. He was like, "Hey, you were to borrow my herringbone if you're going to go down and record." And so I was like, "Yeah, heck yeah, I'll borrow it." And so I've done a couple of things with Gary where I've used some of his guitars. It made it special that last herringbone we used was a 37 shaded top herringbone,
Right.
and it that was neat to have in there because I mean I've never owned a herringbone, and it was cool to just to take that guitar and record with it because it was such a good guitar, and it was kind of a different sound. It kind of made me play different. I mean, it's and it's cool to especially guitar like that you know, probably the last time that guitar has probably been recorded probably in the 80s or maybe even before that, you know, which it's cool to take an instrument like that in a studio like Glenn's, and it's like, man, let's get this thing recorded the best we can, you know, and get it documented, you know. It's cool to me. I just love that stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And 37 is one of my favorite years because I nearly and I should have, and I kick myself every day for not doing it, but I had the opportunity to buy a 37. The top was refinished, but nothing else. And they Dwight McCall had it, and I think he ended up selling it back to Ricky Wasson. You know, Ricky had got it for him and stuff. But I had it for almost 2 years and played it on the road and stuff. And it was such a good guitar, man. And, you know, I was 23, 24 years old. I didn't really think about what I had. I could have paid $40,000 for it and it would have been mine. And now I think if Ricky hasn't sold it, which I actually do think he has at this point, but it's probably worth $100,000 or more at this point, you know. And it's just like, damn it, I wish I'd have done that.
I know, and it's like I bought my D18 in '95, which the D18s hadn't went up yet, you know. I mean they were way down below the 28s, and but there's no way I could buy that guitar now. I mean, there's no way I could get that now. That's the same with these herringbones. I mean, they've always been out of reach for me. I mean, I love them. I mean, but I just can't. I can't do it. I
can't sell your house and buy a guitar.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's always, you know, it's always been out of reach for me. I mean,
you know, I found a time when I was selling instruments left and right, you know, that I never wanted to sell. But, you know, I mean, when you can't feed it to your kids, and you can't, you know, clothe them with it, it's kind of hard to justify keeping something. You know, when, you know, I could have kept them warm with it. We'd have burned up my old D18 or something. We could have stayed warm for a couple hours, you know, but, you know, it's just stuff like that. Well, it's just sitting there and I'm not playing it. And I had a 53 D18 that I did that with. And of course, my Gilchrist mandolin, and had a great Nashville Telly 3 pickup Telecaster with the B-bender in it that I loved. And you just, you know, my dad told me when I was a kid, he said, you know, when you sell an instrument, the instrument's gone, and then shortly thereafter, the money will be gone too, you know?
Yeah.
You're left with nothing.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, it is. I mean, and that's when I always see one of these old guitars with the original owner, and it's like, and they still have this guitar, and then when somebody comes up to him, he goes, "Man, you want to sell this?" You know that just like you, me, stuff that we've had to sell. You know that they've had those opportunities that whole time to sell that guitar.
Oh yeah,
they didn't. You know, and it's just like, man, you know, it becomes a part of you, especially, you know, because I mean, I could have sold my D18 a bunch of times, and probably, you know, I've just been lucky to hang on to it. I mean, but it's you kind of record these guitars, then it becomes a part of man, it becomes a part of you, and your
Right.
sound.
Yeah, your sound, your legacy, and everything else.
Yeah, it's hard to get rid of them.
Well, we can see a few other guitars over your shoulder behind you, but
I know.
Are there other guitars that you own that you love, or what else you have?
I do. For the past year, I've been playing a Collings. I like Collings guitars, and I've always had. That's been my other guitar, pretty much throughout my career. But my first really good guitar was a '93 Collings, and it was a D1, and I've just been a big fan of their stuff. Now, right now, I've been playing a Hill Country. It's a Panamanian Rosewood guitar. Is a Hill Country that we were down there. Me, Bob Benner, and Jake Workman were down there doing these videos, and they'd made these guitars out of different wood. They had one made out of Guatemalan. We had made this one that was made out of Panamanian Rosewood. And I think they had a Madagascar, I think. But man, I picked up the Panamanian, and I was like, I never even seen this wood before or even heard it. And I picked up the guitar, and I was like, dadgum, this thing sounds good.
Did you play, when you picked it up, did you play Panama by
Panama?
Oh man,
They're your best.
I didn't make it up for such a stupid joke, but I had to.
I know that song, man. That guitar though, man, it ended up. I played it the whole time I was there, and I was like, man, I can't believe how much mid range this thing had. And it's really the first that's my first Rosewood guitar I've played, and I've played it over a year now live. I took it to sound check when I first got it. I thought, man, I want to hear what this thing sounds like, and man, it sounded so good in sound check, and I could hear it really well, and I've been playing it ever since. I've that's become my live guitar now. I played the D18 maybe a couple of times, but I really like that guitar. I'm not sure, they're revoicing the tops on these Hill Countries, and I don't know. I just love them. I love the sound that they're getting out of these things now.
Are they made in Texas?
Made in Austin, Texas. Yeah. Nully he's kind of the head builder there, and he's the one that while I was down there, I was we was discussing about the necks. I was saying, man, the pre-war necks, I said, they get pretty deep right around the 5th fret. I said, and I was explaining to him, about that. So we actually went out in the shop there, and I was kind of carving some necks and stuff. I said, and then I told him, I said, hey, when I get home, I'll measure my D18 neck. And I said, at the bottom of every fret, and so you'll have the dimensions on it. You can carve a neck, and you can see what I'm talking about. And so when I got home, I just measured my neck and just sent it to him so he could have it. And then they had the guitar, and they was going to ship it, and then it was like a month went by and they hadn't shipped it. 2 months went by and they hadn't shipped it. I was like, well, maybe they sold it or something. But right before they shipped it, after about 2.5 months, they told me, they said, man, you don't know it, but Nully went out there and made you a neck like your old guitar and put on the new Hill Country. So I've got a neck that's, man, it's the same neck that's on my D18. I mean, it feels so good. Yeah. But when they sent the guitar, they built that neck for me. And
that's cool.
That was cool. Yeah. And it really sounds good. I just love that guitar. It's like Nelly was telling me, he said, man, I don't want you just to have a guitar. He said, I want one that you can't put down, that you'll keep playing. And that's what this guitar is to me. I mean, I love it. And and it keeps getting better and better. I mean, it amazes me. I mean, really, because it's kind of got an older sound already.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I've never seen another guitar made out of this wood, Panamanian rosewood.
I haven't heard of one either.
Yeah, that's cool. We need to send us a
Sure
picture
sound
of it.
good.
Yeah. Well, your tone is so recognizable. I think there's so many Kenny Smith songs that you can hear like 3 notes and know it's you playing. I mean, what do you think creates that kind of identity for you on the guitar? I mean, is it the guitar itself? Is it your picking style or what?
I think part of it is the guitar, and then part of it is just like I was saying, 93. I had some really bad guitars. I'm not really bad, but I had to really work at the thing to even get any kind of tone out of it. And then when you finally get some of these guitars that is a better guitar than you are, man, it makes you appreciate the guitar and trying to get the most of the tone out of it. And that was what I thought the first time I played Tony's Antique. I thought, man, this guitar, it was so responsive. I was like, man, this thing, because the first time I picked it up, I was like, golly, I suck, because it was so quick. You really had to be on every note. I mean, it was just like, it was so responsive. I feel like when you pick that guitar, the note was done over here across the wall, hitting the wall. And it's like, it was a lot quicker than I was playing it. And it was just like, certain guitars is that way. And then like a newer guitar, it doesn't have that. It's almost like it's the older guitars are unapologetic to you. It's just like, man, there's been times when I played my D18, it's like it's actually like it's pinned me on the stage floor, like give me the 3 count, because it's like, man, it's like it doesn't care if you're having a bad day. It's just gonna, it's gonna reveal everything. If you're having a bad day playing, it's like it's gonna reveal all of that. Where some guitars don't do that. It's just not in them, yet. And I think some of these new guitars, they're going to be really good. Like some of these new builders and stuff, they're already good, and I can't wait. I mean, if we live long enough to see, when they get the age that we see these old Martins, man, I think, man, it's gonna be a different vintage guitar world. I think when some of these builders, these guitars get to the age, and this wood kind of goes through their process.
I'm anxious to see that too, because there's so many guitars that people want to sound like the old ones, but the only thing that's made the old ones sound like that is time. And people are trying to skip that part of it, and there's certain things that you have to do in order to do that. And I know one of the guitars that I used to play when I was with Rhonda was the Clark Dameron guitar that Clay Jones used to have.
Right.
And the wood on that guitar is so thin. I mean, like ridiculously thin. If you had a flashlight inside the guitar, you could literally follow it on the top. You could see where it was everywhere on the top. And, I mean, I just, as good as that guitar sounds, and that one is one of the best ones I've ever heard, but like, can it last the 100 years or whatever? That's what I'm kind of anxious in seeing.
Yeah. I mean, some of these guitars, like I've played a couple of Caleb Smith's, couple of his early guitars, and man, they sound really good. And I'm talking, like I think I played. It was under. He hadn't hit 10 guitars yet. I mean, they've been right around that range. His first 10. man, they're sounding good. I mean, some of these other builders, like these John Arnold guitars, and man, they're getting the age on them now where they're starting to, you can hear it. It's got that raw sound,
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm curious on one thing, and I've never heard you talk about this very much. Who was your biggest influence in like guitar playing, and how did you come up with your style that you play from?
Well, the first guy I ever saw play fiddle tunes on a guitar, going back, my dad was a fiddler, and then my grandpa was a fiddler. But the first guy I ever saw play fiddle tunes on the guitar was Norman Blake. And that was a big deal when I saw him. And then I asked my dad to get a record, and he ordered a record from Elderly Instruments, and that having that record, it had tunes on it that my dad was playing the fiddle, and it's like I didn't know where to start. I could hear the melody, but I didn't know where to start on the guitar. I didn't know whether to start, the A part low, go higher. I didn't know. And then Norman, he was my connection there. It's like where he would start these melodies. Like I was like, okay, he's starting low, and it gave me kind of a path to do these fiddle tunes. And so I kind of followed Norman for a long time. And like I say, I heard Doc Watson, but it was Norman. I didn't have any Doc Watson records. I just kind of, I liked the way Norman was doing these fiddle tunes, and that was what I was hearing. When I was a kid, because my dad was playing those tunes, and so that was a big deal. And then, man, I remember going to the Fort Wayne Library there in Indiana and looking up Bluegrass in the card catalog, and of course the album they had was 0044, J.D. Crowe and New South. And so I checked that record out for, I know, at least 3 months, because I just kept renewing it until somebody, asked for it, and I had to take it back. But that album was a big deal. That was the second album that made a huge impact, because once I heard that sound, I was like, dang, I want to be in a band. I want to be in a band like that someday. And just everything. And it was funny because I knew who J.D. Crowe was because the Pickin' magazines, he was always in those ads, But, like Ricky, I kind of knew who Ricky was, Tony, and Jerry Douglas, but not, I listened to that album on a band level, not a, like individuals, like, oh gosh, Tony's, thing. And it was like, it was the band sound that really captivated me. I was like, dang, I love that, Yeah. Of course, I wasn't the only one that heard that. It inspired a whole generation, of people. You can't. People our age is like, that was pretty much the album, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely a very important one.
Yeah, we talk about that album a lot.
It's and the material, it was just like when you heard those songs, it was like, man, where did this song come from? Or it was so unlike stuff that came out, around that time. And I don't know, it was everything that wrapped up in one set of songs. It was like, golly, I don't think it could have got any better, really.
Yeah, I've heard Don say that he would argue that it's probably one of, if not the best, bluegrass album ever recorded. So,
yeah.
And that's probably a very true statement. It definitely was different. It was ahead of its time.
Right.
we had when we had Tominski on here talking with us one time, he had even mentioned that record was the one for him too, and he said it was his brother came in with it playing in the car, and I'm Walking was on there, and Dan was like, it's all banjo all the time. I love this. The banjo takes every ride.
Yeah.
Like,
dang.
Yeah. So,
but man, growing up in Indiana, we could pull the Grand Ole Opry in every Friday and Saturday night, and I used to listen when I was a kid. Billy Grammer would always be on there, and he'd have his acoustic guitar, and he would be on there about every Friday or Saturday night. And man, I remember Dad would always get a pizza, and I know what he was getting. We'd have to drive to pick up the pizza, and it's like he was wanting to listen to the Opry, and so man, I'd always go with him because he'd have that Opry on. I was like, I want to hear Billy, and so if he was lucky to be in there, and of course you had Howdy Forster, and then Roy Acuff, he would come on, and Charlie Collins, but man, listen to the Opry and stuff. Listen to those guys, all those, Leon Rhodes, those guys playing, man, it was just, I don't know, that pretty much shaped my guitar playing, those guys,
yeah,
on the Opry. And then, during school, before school started, we'd catch the bus. There was a show. It was Harold Inslee had a show. It's called Early Bird Gets the Bluegrass. He would come on in the morning. I used to tape that show because it was like 30 minutes of bluegrass. He would play everything, man.
That was a great show.
Brothers, yeah. And I had a lot of. I used to record that a lot just to hear the new stuff. He would play a lot of new stuff, and that was a big deal.
Yeah,
it was stuff like that, man. That's how you learn how to play. I mean, see some guy playing something, and man, me and my brother would just sit back and watch, and then they'd either come over and show you, or slow it down for you. Then you was like trying to remember it before you got home, so you wouldn't forget it.
Right. So for the people that might not know, your brother Sonny is a fantastic musician, great fiddle player, a great banjo player. And in fact, we used to see him a lot when I was still playing contests and stuff. He would, come over to the contests and stuff and play. And pretty much one of them guys that whatever he entered, he won. He was kind of made me think of Randy Howard a lot of times because of that. If he entered, he won. And but you guys were both brought up. But each one of you like has your own style. You don't copy, I mean, you can, but you don't. And I love that, you've got something completely different.
Yeah, that was the thing too. When I first moved to Tennessee, they actually had a guitar category, which in Indiana, there was hardly any contests at a guitar category. It was always fiddle and banjo. And so when I moved down here in '87, they had a guitar category. And so, man, as you know, I mean, '87, man, Tony, he was huge, man. His everybody was really digging everything that he was doing. And so there was a lot of people was playing his songs and everything. So, man, we'd get in these contests, and I was trying to set myself apart, from those guys, and kind of that sound. And so I was kind of doing the opposite, kind of, Tony's notes was kind of short. And so I was trying to make them ring. And it kind of, I kind of worked on that. And it was my brother, he was doing like he'd be in his room over here, and he'd be working on a banjo thing or something like that. And I'd try to do what he was doing, like a banjo lick. That kind of stuff. It was kind of melodic stuff, and that's kind of where that open sound come from. Was I was trying to keep those notes kind of rolling instead of the kind of the. So keeping the open notes and then kind of figuring out just have that hold on to those notes as long as I could. Just keep them ringing and just to set yourself apart from 20 other guys in the contest. And so, and then it even became a bigger deal when we went out to Winfield for the first time. That was an eye-opening thing because these guys really put a lot of time on arrangement. And I remember the first time I went out there, it's like I only had my first round tunes picked out or even worked on because I was like, I ain't going to get in the final. So, and I did. I was like, crap. And I remember, I remember Rick Rorix. I went out there to back him up on the mandolin, and I remember telling him my songs on the way up to the steps. Is like, I don't even remember what I did but I ended up getting third place. I think the first year I went out there, and but that was a cool contest too. That one and the Doc Watson Merle Fest contest was a big win for me. I mean, that was a pretty high profile, but it was one of those things. I was taking lessons too when I first moved to Tennessee. There was a guy, Larry Pinkerton. He taught at Shelbyville Record Shop, and I used to go down there on Saturdays because he would teach all day Saturday, and somebody wouldn't come in or they missed their lesson or something like that. He would come upstairs and play, and the first time I heard him, I was like, "Man, this guy is crazy good." And I thought, "Man, this is the best guitar player I've ever run into." Period. And when I hear him play, and so man, I would be going down there every Saturday just to hear him play when he'd come upstairs. And after about 2 or 3 Saturdays of that, he told me, he said, "Man, you're down here every Saturday. Why don't you just take a lesson?" And I started laughing. I go, "Yeah, you're right." And so, and he goes, "I think I can teach you some stuff." And so he had me play. And so I took some lessons off Larry, but one of the lessons, he told me, he goes, "You're too worried about being the best," is what he told me. He goes, "You're too worried about playing, all this stuff." And he goes, "You're too worried about being the best." He goes, "What you need to spend time on is doing stuff only you can do." And I was like, I was silent for a while. I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You really need to spend time on stuff that only you can do." And he goes, "Just forget about all these other players." He goes, don't worry about that." He goes, "You need to spend more time on doing stuff that only you can do." So that I kind of, I took it to heart, and then I realized why Larry was so good. It's like why I thought he was so good, because he was doing this stuff that only he could do. It's like right. He was doing all this chord melody, and he didn't sound like anybody. And I was like, man. And so him saying that is really, that would have been in 87, 88. And it's like, so I started working on that stuff, and it paid off, because I kept trying to do stuff that, like he said, only I thought I could do, or what I was good at. And I think that's where your style comes from, is like, you kind of realize like, man, I can't do this stuff. I can't do this fast stuff maybe that somebody else can do. And then you kind of stay away from it. So you kind of avoid all this stuff you can't do. And then you're left with the stuff you can do, and that becomes your style, I think, and it really shapes you.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I always call it a pathway and of avoidance. It's like you avoid this stuff you're not really good at, and
yeah,
you keep the stuff that you are good at, and that becomes you then.
Yeah. One of the things that I did growing up, whenever I was learning, and I did this on every instrument, I would learn everybody's break on a particular record that I liked. So I'll never forget when you guys came out with One Step Forward, which was the first LRB album that you and Don were on. When you go walking after midnight started playing, and for the first time in maybe history, there was, a guitar solo on a up tempo number. And I remember, you having the ladder lick that's kind of up the neck, where you do the like 7th fret B string, 6th fret little E, and then you kind of do like a pull off with your pinky, and I remember hearing that and just losing my mind, because it's like, first off, I already knew how you could play, because I don't know if you remember this or not, but when I was a kid, you and I met, and Jonathan Jones and I were playing together a lot back then.
Yeah.
And he's the one who introduced me to you. And but that was, gosh, we were kids, man. We were literally probably 14,
Yeah.
So, but I just remember all of that happening, and I learned every single solo that I could find of yours. And, if you go back to like some really early recordings of me playing guitar on something, like there's a Special C album, I ended up taking a guitar solo on one of the instrumentals, and there's a big Kenny Smith lick right in one section of it. And then
your check's in the mail,
one.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's why. I mean, that's how this music survives. That's how it keeps going.
Yeah, and that's just what I did, and I did that on everything with everybody that I loved. I was like learning, every Bluegrass band album. I learned all those solos. I would just sit there. One day I might be trying to get the rolls just like JD, and then the next day I might be playing, Tony's part. And I did this with Union Station's albums, from Every Time You Say Goodbye on, and I did it with every Lonesome River Band album that came out since carrying the tradition. Actually, that's not true, because I learned everything off of Looking for Yourself too. So that was, just kind of how I ended up learning. I took kind of everybody's style. Like, I wanted to learn how to play like you. I wanted to learn how to play like Tony. I wanted to learn how to play like Tim Stafford. I wanted to learn how to play like Dan Tominski. I wanted to learn how to play like Norman Blake, all these different guitar players. And, when it comes down to it, I know a little bit of each style, but all of that's already been done. Right. So, what do you do when, you have all of that? And honestly, how it ended up starting my guitar playing was just kind of this jumbled mess of all of it. You know what I mean? So it would be like like a Tony Rice thing followed by a Norman Blake thing, and then a couple Kenny Smith licks, and then back into this other thing. So it was, it was just kind of this crazy garbage stew, if you will, of styles. You know what I mean? Just garbage was probably a horrible word to use, but you know what I mean. But that's what my grandpa used to make when he had literally everything that was in the fridge is in the soup. All the garbage stew. I remember saying, "Mom, we're not really going to eat garbage, are we? Don't make us eat garbage." But anyway, yeah, and what I've found now, a lot of where a style comes from, for me now, is whatever song I'm recording, finding that right feel for it. And, with us recording this new Southern Legacy record, there's a couple of things on there. I've never played like this in my life, and that's what I realized. I love that so much. Always, I pattern a lot of my playing off of Tony just because he was such a huge influence on me. And let me tell you, when you stand beside somebody and watch them do this and kind of see where their mind goes when they start solos and all this, it kind of gets, into your brain and you don't even realize that it has. When I came back from playing with Tony, I, stylistically, was probably playing closer to what Tony played, but the way that I played it was completely different than I played the first time before I left Rhonda's band and went with playing with Tony. Just crazy how all that stuff works, how you absorb what's around you.
Oh yeah, and like I say, man, you can't play bluegrass guitar and not be influenced by Tony. And that's the deal. He was at such a high level, it's just, you can't, you can't ignore the fact of what he's done, and that was the thing too, when I first moved here, one of the first things I did was, went to Station Inn. He was playing at Station Inn. I saw him play. I'd never seen him play live before. And it changed my life. It's just like the first 30 minutes is like, man, I realized, man, I'm working way too hard. His fingers was barely coming off the fingerboard. His right hand was, totally relaxed. And anybody that I would, and you're the same way. We were lucky to see him, in a live setting, because there's a lot of guys, they've never seen him play live. They've just seen YouTube videos, and we were lucky to be in the same room. It's just like, man, I wouldn't give anything for that, because to hear his guitar, hear his voice, and that was, man, that's a university,
Yeah, totally.
Being, have that front row seat, it's just like, and I like to say, man, he knew just not just playing, but he knew more about the guitar. As far as just little things, I picked up from him. He told me one time, he goes, man, I was backstage. He goes, man, I was having trouble tuning, and he goes, man, I don't know how you guys put on. He goes, I don't know how you young cats put on these new strings and expect them to stay in tune, and I know, I said, well, man, I'm having trouble. And he knew I was having trouble. I was like,
yeah.
I said, man, I'm having trouble I said, I'm afraid I'm going to break one. He goes, don't worry about it. He said, man, I usually put mine on either a week before or, definitely, he goes, at least a week before he plays, He said, just let him sit. And I was like, okay, all right. I've done that ever since, but he would never say, oh, you're doing it wrong. He'd always say that. I don't know how you get that to work. Or that's how he would always tell me, he'd never say, man, you're an idiot for putting on new strings right before the set,
Oh, and the number of times that I've done that, man,
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's just, man, but he was always super nice, man, to me. He was, like I say, that I'll never forget his guitar though, how responsive it was. And then the first time I hit a chord on it, I was like, dang, that's that color, that tone that's on those albums, it's just like, it was just instant. And it was like, man.
Yeah, it's weirdly like chording a piano almost instead of bluegrass guitar, It's a very odd instrument.
Yeah. So
but gold in his hands,
Oh yeah.
Gold in his hands. Well, Kenny, thank you so much, man, for taking the time to do this with us.
Gosh, yeah. Let's do it again.
Whole World Round by Kenny and Amanda Smith be coming out in June or July of this year. So everybody be looking forward to that. And
we got a single coming out. It's called Tears of the Cherokee. And
nice.
I'm excited about it. My grandma was a Cherokee Indian, and it's a cool song. That'll be our first single that we're gonna release off of it. Coming up. That's
great,
soon,
man.
So.
Well, we can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Well, Kenny, from one crappy guitar player to two of the world's best, this has been one of my favorite interviews we've done.
Oh my gosh. Hey, this is just the start. I hope I get to come back. This is
anytime, man. Please come back.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you and Amanda on and at the same time and listen to you guys tell stories together from your time together, and I'm sure that lots of great stories from there as well. You guys make beautiful music. I mean, one of my favorite duets of any genre, and I just love what you guys do, and you're a legend, and I just it's been an honor for me to listen just to you guys talk. So,
and I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, dude. Thank you
for having me on, man.
We appreciate you
guys.
No
we'll get you back on here as soon as possible, man. Get you and Amanda. So we'll definitely do that.
All right. Hey, you guys call me if you can do anything for me. All right.
You bet.
We will.
You bet.
We'll teach you how to do a G run or something.
All right, man. Take you up on it.
All right. Brother. Thanks, Kenny.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. See you guys.
Take care, man.
Bye-bye.
All right.
All right. So fun to talk to Kenny Smith. What a great guy, man. I know he has so many fans in the world of bluegrass music, and I know that you and I are definitely two of the biggest. So
absolutely, man. He's just such a good person, you know.
Yeah.
And I met him and his brother both at kind of a young age, and just have always looked up to both of them. Yeah.
Well, he and Amanda do, I mentioned this in the interview, but they do just have such an amazing sound together. And it's, it's rare that especially a married couple, a lot of times families will always blend together like that, but they just have such a great sound together. And it's truly amazing. If you haven't listened to their music, go look them up, go see them live mainly, but you will not be disappointed for sure. So
absolutely.
So much fun. Well, we've had a good time. Thanks to our sponsors. Don't forget, McEwen Guitar Picks is one of our great collaborators. We love what Mark Rogers does with them, and we give away one in every episode. So be sure and watch our Facebook page every Friday morning when this podcast comes out, because you'll stand a chance to win a McEwen Guitar Pick as well as a Page Capo. So we will ask a question on there where we post the podcast, and if you answer correctly, you will win. So thank you so much for listening. Our page is growing. Please like and share and subscribe to this podcast. It really helps us out a lot. Follow it, download it, save it, plaster it to your wall, tell your friends, whatever you got to do.
That's right.
Because we appreciate all the support for sure. So, well, thank you, buddy. Have a kick butt time tonight there in Meridian, Mississippi. I hope you guys have a blast. What time y'all play?
7:30.
7:30. Well, cool. Well, you guys have fun at the Station Inn tomorrow night. I wish I could be there, but doesn't look like I'm going to get to make it, but it'll be a fun night. What a great, it's one of my favorite places to listen to bluegrass music for sure. Any music. Really.
Oh yeah. Great room.
Yep. Absolutely. So
great room. So we appreciate everybody, appreciate all of our sponsors, and also Rick Dollar and the Radio Dog Podcast Network. So
absolutely. Well, thank you all for listening, and we will see you guys the next time that we head around the bend.
That's
right. Time to breathe.
You got time for music.
That's going to do it for this episode of the Hometown Bluegrass Show. Thanks for spending some time with your hosts, Tim Batts and Josh Williams. We hope you learned a little and laughed a lot. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode from the heart of bluegrass. Until next time, keep picking, keep grinning. Tim and Josh look forward to seeing you down the road.
This is the Radio Dog Podcast Network.